Well, Alistair, you had your chances late. What's your biggest frustration from that last 5 or 10 minutes?
Well, we'd rather talk about the positives, that we came back from a game that looked shot for us at quarter time, and we found a way to get back into a contest. So pleased that we're making some progress as a footy club. The wider football world just wants to judge us on wins and losses, and out of our games this year, we say how many times at three-quarter time we're still in the contest, and we haven't got supporters switching off the TV. And 6 times this year we're still in the game at three-quarter time. This time last year it was 0. So we're making some progress as a footy side. We've seen some development of some younger players, particularly in our back end. And the last 2 weeks worked really strongly on trying to restrict opposition scores, which had been a real problem for us for about 3 weeks across the Sydney, Gold Coast and Carlton games. And to keep a Essendon side who want to play pretty open, uncontested footy, to keep them to just over 40 inside 50s and only 9 goals for the game is really pleasing for us. But obviously disappointed that we just couldn't find a way to convert an opportunity late in the game to give us a chance to win the game.
90 seconds on the clock late, your debutant has a chance to put you in front. He gets called to play on. Rough moment for him. What's your message to him? How do you chat through that with him?
He's just a young player finding his way in the game, and a lot of mistakes made in the game. It's certainly not Finbar's fault. He gave us a target and a bit of excitement. Kicked the goal in his first quarter of AFL footy, and really pleased. He's had a different sort of journey. He's a basketballer as a kid, and he's a real live wire in terms of his personality, and he'll be disappointed because it's just him. His humility would suggest that he feels like he's let the team down, but he hasn't let us down at all. He's a ripper, and he'll bounce back into the club on Monday and get himself ready for next game.
So much focus on Jai and Harry during the week. How did they handle the lead up? How did you feel both of them handled the game? Some big moments for both.
Yeah, I thought they played some good footy for us. They've been consistent in the roles that we require them to play, and both of them have been pretty good for us this year. And I've had to switch, particularly Harry, we've had to switch him around a little bit. Would we like to play midfield and forward a little bit? Yep. But he won the best and fairest as a halfback flanker too, and part of our trouble in terms of defending the ground, part of the reason why he's gone back the last 2 weeks. Hard to have score involvements when you're playing halfback flank. There'll be critiquing of that elsewhere, but part of being able to defend the ground is how do you get out of your back end effectively, and we just need guys who can use the ball really well. And we saw what Rosie's been able to do for Port Adelaide in the last 3 weeks since he's gone back. They were battling to get it out themselves, Port Adelaide, early in the year, and then he goes back. It's a masterstroke. Winning requires no explanation, but when you lose, you've got to try and justify everything. So we'll just battle away with the guys that we got who are making some progress, and if we continue to apply ourselves in the manner in which we did, and a win won't be too far away for us.
Back to the first quarter, I think it's the 5th game in a row where you've conceded 5 goals or more in the first quarter. What do you put that down to, and how do you address that? Yeah,
hard. Because we are addressing it. We haven't won a first quarter for the year. So, and the bulk of sides that win the first quarter go on and win the game, and that was again tonight. So it's not something that we're just ignoring and not addressing. But wish I had the magic wand to just wave and fix that up. And if we do, might allow us to get ourselves back into, or stay in the game for a little bit longer, and maybe even win them. So we're hoping we can improve in that area.
What's the severity of Jackson Archer's hamstring?
Not too sure. I haven't spoken to the docs. And, as a coach, as ruthless as it is, it's just like Who's in, who's out. You can't participate in the game any longer. Put your sub on. We'll worry about the injury later on, as ruthless as that sounds. He's a ripper for us, Arch. Hugely popular amongst his teammates, and he'll be disappointed that he's hurt himself. And he's a tough bugger too. So he was limping pretty badly. So I dare say it's not a slight strain. So he'll miss some weeks, I'm sure, but he'll be back better than ever, and we'll be a better side when he's coming back.
How much do you think you missed Paul Curtis tonight? It felt like you were lacking that bit of class and polish for the ball.
Well, he's been pretty good for us this year. He's kicked 18 goals in 7 games, and it's not just what he can do offensively for us, as we saw in last week's game, in particular against Port Adelaide, but right throughout the course of the year. In my view, he's nearly the best tackler in the competition. He's just so strong, and it's a shame that part of our game is getting questioned. It's a feature of our game, and we understand there's a duty of care, but there's a duty of care to the game, and that if the player hasn't got any intent other than to try to lay the tackle, not a player in the competition. I can understand the slings, but this is not a sling. This is a football action. So we're disappointed with that outcome, and particularly the severity of the outcome. Football action, he gets 3 weeks. Someone swings an arm off the ball incident, gets less. It doesn't make sense. Also, doesn't make sense that the AFL come out and say, we might change that at the end of the year. Doesn't help us. We're really disappointed with that. Really disappointed. Because really strong leadership would say, we understand it's wrong and we'll change it right now. He shouldn't be missing 3 weeks of footy.
There was a moment late where the umpire overturned their call. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there, so can't really comment on it. I don't know what. I thought it was. What would they say? It was a free kick to us, and then
a ball up.
Yeah. Pretty costly as it turns out, isn't it? You lose a game by less than a goal. Top of the goal square free kick. I don't know what transpired there. Anyway.
And just the noise around the club throughout the week, did you use that pre-game or at the breaks at all to use it to motivate your group?
No, we got just play footy and play consistent with your application. We don't need outside things to try and motivate us to play, because that's short-lived. You can't manufacture that every week to try to get yourself up. You've got to find a way to play consistently and apply yourself consistently to games of footy with your mental application. And that was good after quarter time. It wasn't good enough early for us, unfortunately.
When did you tell the players that cane calls wouldn't be allowed in the rooms and conduct interviews with you guys?
I didn't tell them.
I guess just was it just they found out organically on social media, that sort of thing, or the conversation?
Don't know. It didn't come from me. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.